Now, this is my opinion on why I think Ford vs Ferrari is a fantastic movie. Now, for anyone who likes cars, who likes sports car and car brands, they'll love this movie because it's a true underdog story. It's about a mass manufacturing American company, Ford, taking on an Italian sports car giant, Ferrari. That's the basics of the story. Now, in the movie, we see Ford struggling with sales. They're not doing as well as they wanted to, and they want to get into a sports car become a sports car brand, and they decide to enter Le Mans and to try and win it in order to become recognized as a sports car brand. Now, obviously, Le Mans is dominated by Ferrari because Ferrari's been making sports cars and supercars for years. I mean, they're basically a sports car brand. They don't do anything else. So they were the heavyweights and the ones to beat. Now, Ford doesn't really have any experience in this category, so they go to a ground and start engineering up a car. And to head that, they decide to call on Carroll Shelby. Apparently, he's a person who modifies cars. I mean, we all know the Shelby Cobra. That was Carroll Shelby's cars. Yeah, so they instruct him to focus on this project, and he decides to bring in a new driver, Ken Miles. Now, I don't know his backstory or anything, but they know each other. So they go about racing, and he's the one who test drives the cars, and there's this guy for management who wants to do things this way and that way and not really experiment that much, but Ken wants to do different things, so there's a clash there. And obviously Shelby supports Ken because they're friends and he knows he's right. And so there's a bit of issues there, but eventually Ken gets his way and they start developing a great car, a really powerful V8 engine, and they create the Ford GT, which is now an iconic car, and it was recreated in 2005 and again recreated in 2017, I think, with a with a newer version. But the 2005 one looked very similar to the Le Mans car as much as it could, and it was a hit. So yeah, everyone loved that car. So they decide to do a smaller race circuits first to test it out and see how well he can handle it. And surprisingly enough, he wins. And now I think there was a deal somewhere in the middle that he has to win to be allowed to drive in Le Mans, and he ends up winning against the odds. And so then they go to Le Mans, and Le Mans is a 24-hour race, I think, 24 or 48 hour, not sure, but there's definitely a whole day there, and it's actually exciting. You think it'd be boring just watching cars just go around and round and round, but they did it well. I mean, we were thrilled to see the movie. The race scenes were really good. It's not hardcore racing, but yeah, you see all the cars competing each other, some cars crashing, the Ford and the Ferrari facing off against each other. Now obviously the Ferrari seems to be in the front for most of the movie because that's how they needed to be, for the plot at least. And you see the Ford slowly catching up, and eventually the Ford GT and the Ferrari, I don't know what the name of the Ferrari was, but the Ferrari and the Ford both going toe to toe over the laps, and at one point they seem to be at level speed, so the Ferrari tries to get past him and just revs the engine out, and the engine blows. The Ferrari engine blows, and he's out of the race. So the Ferrari team actually managed to win. They win 1, 2, and 3. Top 3 positions. Now there were two other Ford cars. This is a team race. But all the Ford cars managed to win, and this actually happened apparently because The Ford actually forced the Ferrari to rev out so much that the engine blew and he really beat the Ferrari, and that was exciting to see. Now, my only problem with this is that Miles wasn't allowed to finish first in the movie. He was told to fall in line with the others. No, but he thought he was going to finish first, but apparently because the starting point or something, he ends up finishing second or third. And that actually does happen in real life. It did happen, but it happened for different reasons apparently. But story-wise, Miles was robbed of the victory, which kind of sucked. But he does get a head nod from Enzo Ferrari, which is a big deal. The man who created Ferrari, he respected him. He knew he was a great driver. And in the final scenes, we see Miles testing out a new version of the Ford GT and unfortunately dying. That also happened in real life. That's a little sad. I mean, he didn't get the victory and he ended up dying, but everyone knew him at least. I mean, he was famous and he was known as a great driver, and because of this movie, now everyone's gonna know about him even more, which is something, I guess. Now, I guess they could have switched the story and made it that he won. I mean, it wouldn't be authentic, but I wouldn't have mind. It would have been really satisfying to see him finish at the top and standing on the winner's podium. But yeah, that's okay. So yeah, this is why I think Ford vs Ferrari is a fantastic movie.